It started with 3 bullet points, right? The TMC Global logo has been released. We're rolling it out on Monday, and marketing needs to report back on the impact. And I just basically said, hey, turn these bullet points into a detailed, comprehensive, enthusiastic, professional email for updating the executive team. Because let's face it, even though I only want bullet points, they like words. At least that's the lie that we all tell ourselves. And here you can see it produced a big old email. There's a subject, there's the address, blah, 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 blah. Man, I feel important, right? I am the chief AI officer. I should look really fancy. So I sent that off. And basically what happened, right? Somebody opened up Copilot, give me the bullet point version of this email, be concise as possible. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, the logo's finalized, marketing's on Monday, campaign will introduce the new brand, marketing will track engagement, ELT will receive a post-launch impact. Thanks to everyone who contributed. Like, this is what we call AI Slop and AI Dribble, right? And so we're going to get into that in this video. We're going to look at what is AI Slop, what is AI Dribble, and more importantly, what is AI Boost, which actually is what we should be using. All right, let's start with AI Slop, right? And this is an industry term. You've probably heard it before, but the idea of AI Slop is when you create something with AI that basically has no value, right? Words for the sake of words. So for example, I always use the blog. So people are like, hey, we got to do more blogging, right? That makes our website more important, makes people think we're smart if we blog. So they'll go out here to their favorite AI tool like Copilot, and they'll say something like, please write me a blog post that explains how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And truth be told, it's lunch, right? My Chick-fil-A is on the way, so it's very food-based. But you get the idea, right? And so when you do this, you're like, all right, how to make the perfect peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And there you go. It kind of explains what it is, the things you'll need, the steps, and what to do, put it together, serve and enjoy, and then gives you some ideas of ways to elevate your PB&J and final thoughts. Okay, so if you look at that, you're going to say, wow, that's a really good article. Like, it's got formatting, it's got a little bit of flair, it's got a little twist. It took my idea and expanded. Ladies and gentlemen, this is AI Slop. Why? So the main reason it's AI Slop is it doesn't add any value to the world, right? If you take and post this on your company blog because you're really trying to drive traffic around peanut butter and jelly, I don't know why, but it's not going to help, because even if it does get indexed, basically the index engines are looking at it and be like, hey, well, there's nothing unique there. There's no opinion, there's no thoughts, there's no uniqueness. If this gets posted to the internet, it doesn't add any value to the internet. And more importantly, if it got deleted from the internet, the world would not be any worse off, right? Like nothing, the world doesn't change from this blog post because AI wrote it 100% because AI knew all of this, right? So this is the dangerous type of slop, because sometimes people are like, well, no, slop is just when it messes up. Yes, slop can be when it messes up, but even if everything is 100% right, I mean, I'm not going to read this, right? Who would? There's so many words about peanut butter and jelly, but you get the idea, like, this is probably correct. I am 99% positive that everything in here is accurate for making peanut butter and jelly. So people are like, well, then it's good because it's not wrong. It doesn't have to be wrong to be slop. It has to be something that doesn't provide value. If AI can write it, like it just did, you just saw, then that means AI already knows it. That means it's already out there in the world. There was no unique value here. So avoid AI slop. AI slop is the enemy. It's the worst thing that you can do. Best case scenario, it's right and pointless. Worst case scenario, it's wrong and pointless, right? Like, imagine that this told you, the wrong way to do it. It says, hey, stick the knife in the electrical socket to really warm it up first, right? Like, that would be bad and dangerous. And when you're writing this stuff, remember, whose name's on this? If I go post this on the blog, I can't say, oh, Copilot wrote this silly thing that caused you to stick your knife in the electrical slot, right? Like, my name is on it. So we've got to stay away from AI slop. Now, AI Dribble, right? Let's return back to this email that I did earlier. This is the one that I think makes me the angriest. I yell at people for this all the time. AI Dribble is when you take a perfectly good idea, perfectly good concept, and then you just add words. You just expand, right? You saw, I had 3 bullet points. The TMC Global logo was released, rolling it out on Monday. That's today. So, hey, yay us. And then the marketing needs to report back and tell us how big of the impact was for putting it out, right? That was what I wanted to communicate. But, I decided that I needed to sound fancier. And so I'm like, hey, write up this email. And this email is, for the most part, right, is accurate. It is following my bullet points. It is communicating what I wanted. It added some of its own slop to it, or slop, dribble, I don't know. It added a little bit. It expanded because I told it to expand, but it did communicate what I wanted. So people are like, well, this is good. This is better. This is what I refer to, right, as AI dribble, because it's the same as if you think about it, whether it's soccer or basketball, right? Sometimes people just dribble and dribble and dribble, right? They don't go anywhere. They're just kind of stuck in a circle because they can't make a decision on what to do or move. That's what this feels like, right? It's just activity for the sake of activity while we try to figure out, what to do with the ball or the information. So AI dribble, but this is the worst kind because there is value in here. I do need them to read the email. I do need them to know this. But when I dump this in front of the rest of the executive leadership team, like they're not reading this, right? There's too many words. I'll read it later and then never come back to it, right? They really just wanted my bullet points. Right? They would be happier with me if I sent, those 3 bullet points, maybe adding a little bit to them. But instead of doing that, I said, make this thing big and wordy. And just like I'm being right now, wordy, it is a waste. So you've got to stay away from AI dribble. I think it's the worst thing that's happening in companies right now. Too many extra words, Copilot expanding it, then they're using Copilot to shrink it down. And I'm just hoping, in the telephone game that my 3 bullet points made it out. And as we saw in this example, they did make it out, right? But it added some bullet points. So they got 6 bullet points instead of the 3 of what I really wanted to tell them. And I'm not even sure the last one's true. I don't know that, or the second last one, right? I'm not really sure that I'm going to send them a post-launch impact report. That probably wasn't true. So AI dribble, moving all. So when I tell people this, they're like, well, then why use AI, right? Like the whole AI was the whole point of this was to, sound better, to look smarter, to create a bunch of content. No, right? So this is where we get into the concept of AI boost, right? And so I used boost because I like the dribble basketball analogy. And so I was thinking like NBA Jam, right? You'd hit the turbo, the boost button, and it'd be like, whoa! And then you could dunk and catch things on fire. And if you didn't play the video game, you're like, what is this guy talking about? It's okay. Anyway, AI boost is when we use AI the way it's meant to. It's meant to boost or augment or assist me in making better stuff. So for example, instead of taking my 3 bullet points here and turning them into that hot mess, what if we grab those 3, copy those, we'll go start a new chat, we'll give it our bullet points, and then we'll augment it with something, we'll get it to assist us in a way that we would want. And so let's try this, right? I need to share these 3 bullet points with the rest of the ELT team. Here's the bullet points. Can you help me write a short, concise email? And I always point out, like, one of the things we've learned with prompting lately is if you kind of set the stage, then provide the information, then the request, right? If you kind of ask twice almost, you're going to get better results. Well, a little extra tip there, but let's try this. And so there you go, right? It's got a subject written for me, team, and then the bullet points are in sentences, right? So it's not typical Shaneisms, right? Very, very concise, but it's at least proper sentences. It's got a little bit of bolding there. And because it's an AI boost, marketing report back to the ELT on raw performance, like that's not going to be true. So then I'm going to then edit out the email, right? So I didn't just say send them an email, right? I'm going to grab that. I'm going to go paste that into Outlook and I'm going to say, hey, we're going to gather the impact. Maybe I would probably say, if you want me to share the impact with you or, something to that effect, right? Like that's the thing. This is going to be Shane, yes, it's my bullet points, but it just helped me make sure that they are a little bit better. I would probably also add a attachment of the logo. I think they've all seen it, but make sure they all, have that right there in the inbox with it as well. So that's one example of assist or boost or whatever we're calling it, right? I don't know. It's a new thing for me. The other one, though, I want to show you is let's go talk about one of my actual work streams. So let's switch over to co-work for a second. Hey, as you're watching this, you're thinking, man, I have opinions or I need help with this same exact stuff to frame to make my company more effective. Hit us up, right? Just email me, Shane@powerapps911.com. I would love to chat with you about this. Talked about, what you're seeing in this, what you're not seeing here, where you need help. And, then here at TMC Global, we can help you with training. We can help you with consulting, implementation, or maybe it's just you and me chatting for a few minutes because, being nerdy about this is fun. Anyway, email me, Shane@powerapps911.com. Let me know what you're thinking when it comes to all this. All right, back to the video. All right, so this is an actual thing I do. I think you guys all know I make these YouTube videos about once a week. And you know what? Also over on the powerapps911.com/blog, I turn them into blog posts every week. Now, we told you in the beginning, right? We don't want the whole peanut butter and jelly, be a blog post, right? That's garbage. And it's the same with Power Platform. Like you could just say, write me a blog post on how to do the patch function. And I could, but it would just be AI slop because it wouldn't have any value. So I want my blogs to have value. So what I do is I take this transcript. I'm going to take this video transcript and I'm going to go hand that to cowork and I'm going to say, hey, first thing I want you to do, right? I handed the transcript and I'm like, I built a skill where it knows how to read the transcript and then is going to write me a video description based on that. And so here's the one for last week's video. Sometimes the descriptions are good, sometimes they're bad, but what they do is they get me away from the blank screen problem. It's like, here's a description. I can be like, oh yeah, I like that, post it, or maybe edit some words, or sometimes I'm like, oh, that's hot garbage. Let me completely rephrase that. But that gets me away from what should the description of this video be about, okay? That's not super important. I only do that some weeks depending on how hard I'm struggling to write the description. But then every week I do this. Now create me a blog post, please. Now remember, I initially started by calling this content from transcript. In there is 150 lines of how I want my blog post structured, what it should do, etc., etc. But here's the difference between just saying, write me a blog post on this topic. It is being 100% fed from my own words, right? So I'm saying, hey, here's 20 minutes of me talking about it. Turn my 20 minutes into a blog post. You're like, well, why wouldn't you just write it yourself? A, it takes longer, right? That whole blank screen problem. But B, I've been told since a very young age that I am a good communicator when it comes to words, right? The spoken word, I am an effective communicator. I've also been told since a very early age that I am a terrible written communicator. And so using AI to take my spoken communication and turn that into something written, right? It's going to restructure it. It's going to help with the proper flow of what needs to be there, the ordering, the sequences, what should be bolded, what should be sections, all of that I am awful at, it's going to do. So it goes and thinks through it, and then it spits out this draft over here. And so then what I do, so I'm going to copy this and I go post it over in my blog posting platform. And then I read it. Yes, I read every word that it wrote. And then I massage it as I go along the way. I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound enough like me, right? I would never make that type of analogy. I would never sound that pretentious, right? I go in here and I turn it into, I add Shane-isms into it, right? Which kind of dumbs it down, but it's my style. I also then, I've taught it to tell me where I need to put the video link because I want to link back to the original video. I also then go down through here. And so for example, in this one, and this wasn't planned, but this happened, this one, that formula is not right. Yes, that's the formula that I said in the video, but the add columns function has changed over the last couple of years. And most of the time our AI tools get it wrong. And basically this my date, which is a new column name that I was creating, that does not need to go in double quotes. So this would actually error if you did it. So I've got to validate it, right? Because when I publish this blog, Shane's name is on it, not Copilot's. And so I've got to make sure that it's 100% accurate. I do not want to be responsible for putting bad stuff out there. So I got to fix that. I also need to go insert some screenshots, right? To make sure that it's very clear. And I usually say, yes, the screenshot should go here, but whether or not I follow what it wants, because I'm putting my knowledge, my spin, my judgment, my empathy, me into this. So this is AI boost, right? I took content I'd created, let AI boost it into what I needed it to become, but then the final editing was me, right? When you start co-authoring with this stuff truly, that's how you create really effective content, okay? So that's what I want to get over with you guys today, right? AI slop is just words for the sake of words. AI dribble is taking and hiding a good set of information in a bunch of extra words. AI boost is taking your words and propelling them, making them better, whether it's better organization, better formatting, clearer communication, accuracy, grammar checking, all of those type of things. So those are the three pieces you've got to be thinking about, right? Anytime that you are producing content with AI, when you're done, before you send it along, whether it's an email, blog post, whatever, you need to ask yourself, did I add value? Where is the value? Where is the benefit here? Or is this just words for the sake of words? And if you put yourself through that litmus test, you're going to sometimes challenge yourself. Now, and it doesn't always have to be unique though, right? Imagine that I took the video and I'm like, hey, I just need to, all right, how about this? I do training classes weekly, daily, I don't know, all the time. And so when the class is over, one of the things I will do, right, because I record it, I have the transcript, is I go over to Copilot in Teams and I'm like, hey, give me a summary. I've given it a template of like how the summary should be, but give me a summary of this. And so then I share that back with the students. And the very first sentence is summary generated with the assistance of Copilot. But then boom, there is the documentation of what we covered in class. So then that way they can remember like, hey, what did we cover on day 2? Oh yeah, it was this, right? Or what did Shane say about that, right? Like, they then have this living document that is accurate. So that's using AI. I don't rewrite that. I don't go and massage that or anything, but I make it clear that it's AI content. But the idea is that it was a great way for me to get documentation. Then in the past, I just gave them the recording, right? So we are augmenting. That is not AI Slop or AI Dribble because it's all based off of that transcript. And we're just letting that package and summarize that up in a way that is meaningful for them. Now, and this is coming from, my work here at TMC Global, right? I am meeting with customers all the time, right? I had a call yesterday with the chief technology officer of a large company. And this is what him and I were talking about, right? Like, we've got to figure out ways to communicate, the value of AI without becoming a company that just spits out a whole bunch of AI. So if you're stuck with those types of challenges of how to get AI, be effective with it, what it should be helping your company with, or you just need help implementing, you've already solved that, you just want implementation, hit us up over here at TMC Global. We are happy to help. All right. And with that, I'm going to say thanks and have a great day.